Hey, and welcome to Matt and Jess TV. I am Matt Roast.
And I'm Jessica Bun Bun.
Welcome to our preview for Dexter Resurrection Season 1, Episode 7. This episode, are you ready for a course correction? We are going to a private retreat hosted by Prater. I'm sure that's going to be great and fun and nothing bad will happen.
No, nothing bad at all, especially after where we left this last episode where Dexter thought that he killed the Gemini killer, and lo and behold, he killed one of them.
I am still over the moon about this twin twist.
It's so good. I mean, they can be really hokey a lot of the times, but not here. It was a great reveal. It was really well done, and it makes sense for this.
I think what's both exciting and also a little bit oddly heartbreaking about the season at the same time, it's like we have all these killers we've been introduced to, and they're all really, really interesting, and they're played by great actors.
Yeah.
And yet they're all dropping like flies, and I'm kind of mad about it because I just feel like there is so much more that could have been done there.
I know. And I mean, they sort of like were teasing in these interviews before the season that maybe some of these killers, who knows? You never know. Maybe we'll see them later on. It's like tattoo collector's dead. Mia's seemingly dead. One of the Gemini killers is dead. There's not that many killers left.
And this leaves me in a very bizarre position where I'm obviously rooting for Dexter as a fan of a show with the word Dexter in its title, but I'm also kind of rooting for the other Gareth to get away. Not that I'm rooting for like other fictional characters to die or anything, but it's just like, I want more David Dismulchin. I'm greedy.
Yeah, I'm a huge David Dismulchin fan. I absolutely love him. If you haven't seen him on Murderbot, it just ended a little while ago. He's so good. And he's so good at being so bad. And I would love him to be okay. Like he needs to just get away. It'll be all right. Dexter doesn't need to kill him. And then he can just move on to Rapunzel, who I actually think tinfoil hat, we're going to get more into this, but like, I think he's actually probably the worst of the worst that's there.
Yeah, he's certainly the one who feels like he can sort of deviate between personalities and kind of slip in and out. And I think that's a very dangerous quality. Like, this is one of the reasons why Trinity was one of the most notorious big bads in the history of this franchise. Well, we have so much more to get into here. We're going to talk all about the synopsis, share some theories, early predictions, but before we go any further, be sure to hit that subscribe button because as you guys may know, we are here several times a week with Dexter Resurrection coverage. We have weekly reviews, previews, but also so many theories. Like just this week alone, we have talked a lot about the New York Ripper. We've talked about whether we could see Aster and Cody. So be sure to check those videos out as well.
Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. We're on our way to 75,000, very, very close. It's a huge milestone for us. So we really appreciate it. And also, if you want to talk Dexter with us further, you can head over to our Patreon. I'll leave a link for you below, and we're having more conversations over there.
Thank you guys so much for your support. And with that, let's get into just the first part of this synopsis for episode 7 here, which is that at a remote retreat hosted by Prater, Dexter uncovers unsettling information about Gareth. Now, first and foremost, there's a lot of strange, why does this guy have like a remote retreat vibes? It's sort of, are you just sending people there because you're going to hunt them? Because that feels like a quest that I've played in Fallout like 300 times.
Every time there's something like that, everything ends up going wrong, like Glass Onion for any of you fans of those movies out there, or A Murder at the End of the World, which was a show that we covered here at the channel. Same sort of idea. You got everybody somewhere and it's all kind of isolated. Things are going to go badly. You got everyone somewhere isolated and everyone's a killer. It's like, oh no.
We really are. It's like kill or be killed at this point. And that's why I do have my hard hat on as I'm sort of thinking there is a good chance we're going to lose the other Gareth. I may not want it, but it's just sort of how much this Gareth knows about what happened to his twin. How much is this Gareth going to be on a revenge tour? Is that the whole reason that they got on this chopper in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, the unsettling information could be a few things. If Gareth number 2 knows that Gareth number 1 is actually dead, which I don't know that he would this quickly. It's only been like a night, basically. Then, I mean, obviously Prater's going to be upset, and I would feel like at that point Gareth would also be upset. upset in a way that would be more obvious than this. But we talked a little bit about this as well, that we don't know if Gareth 1 and Gareth 2 actually have told anybody that there's two of them. There may not be that information out there. Leon may not even know. We don't know. This might be the first time Leon even finds out, where maybe, Gareth number 1 is just missing and Gareth number 2 can't find him, and because of that, and he's unable to locate his brother, maybe he actually tells Prater and is like, listen, this is how we've been doing it this whole time. There's actually two of us, and one of us is missing. And Leon's like, I'm not okay with this. You guys have lied to me. Like, I mean, it would be unsettling for many reasons for Leon. One, that one of them is missing, and
Yeah.
two, he wasn't told about it.
Well, I'm going to get out a shovel here because I'm going to try to dig a little bit into all of these words. I shovel well. Does anybody out there remember Mystery Men other than Jess and I? That's like a reference for the two of us and like nobody else.
The shoveler.
Heck yeah. Okay. So where I'm sort of thinking with all of this is, yeah, it's the words that Dexter discovers unsettling information that makes me feel like, tinfoil hat here, that it's like, all right, he must have some sort of conversation with Gareth where he's sort of realizing, all right, there is something different about this twin that's making me wonder about whether it's their origins, whether it is the relationship with Prater, that Prater's finding out something kind of like you described. But it kind of makes me feel like, okay, Dexter at this point, he obviously knows what happened to the other twin. So he's going to go on the offensive pretty quickly when you get to this remote retreat. And I'm kind of curious about this, that is he going to confront Gareth 2 right away if Gareth 2 doesn't know about what happened with the twin, because you kind of want to get them off guard a little bit, because if they're not expecting something like that or they don't know their twin is gone, maybe they're not going to be fully prepared to have an answer.
Well, here's the other thing. What if Gareth number 2 does know his twin is gone? I mean,
Yeah.
Gareth number 1 was able to lure Dexter into this library and then follow him back to his place. He's waiting for him at his place. He knows where he lives. If Gareth number 1 is able to do all that and to just like, Dexter comes home, here's Gareth number 1, then what's to say that Gareth number 2 also didn't know this information? Because there was a period of time where Gareth number 1 put that bookmark in that book, and the space in between where he easily could have spoken to his twin, and I'm sure did speak to his twin, and was like, yeah, something really shady is going on with one of the people here at this party. I'm going to set a bit of a trap for him so that he'll kind of show up at this place when I say all that kind of stuff, and, take my bait so that I can end up getting back to his place just in case something happens to me, because he was very, worried about it anyways. He switched the drinks, right?
Yeah.
To be like, I need a second set of eyes. Can you make sure that you watch, or can you make sure if you don't hear from me by 8 o'clock, then something has happened to me and it's this guy. I kind of wonder more so that it's going to be along those lines, that these twins are always in communication with each other. They have to be, if they're pretending to be the same person, that Gareth number 1 has informed Gareth number 2 of everything he was doing with Red, where Red lives, and all of it. So at this point, I think that Gareth number 2 knows that his brother is dead, and he's playing the game to then avenge his brother.
I think that's probably the most fun scenario that we're going to get here, because Dexter is much more fun as a show when the killers are smart. And that's sort of the deal that we've had here, where it's like, okay, we've already seen Dexter take down the tattoo collector and to some extent Lady Vengeance. It's like he can't be too good at this all the time. It's better when Dexter gets occasionally thwarted, and somebody like Gareth, as egotistical as at least one of them may be about their exploits, they've still been able to do this for a really long time. And I'm guessing the reason is because they're very smart. They think everything through because they have a reputation to live up to, that they have blown their egos so big in their head for a reason, because they're good at it.
Yeah, Gareth number 1, and probably number 2, they both are very egotistical, but they are very careful and they are very smart. And I just feel like because they're playing one person, they would tell each other everything that they have a suspicion about, and that's why they haven't been caught for so long.
So I think there is a case that you could make that, okay, this next episode, it's going to be mostly about Rapunzel, just because we've kind of blown through these other killers so fast. But to me, I hope they sort of slow down just a little bit on Rapunzel because we do still have the other Gareth to deal with. And I'm fine with David getting a 2 episode spotlight here where it's like, technically we got a spotlight on a whole other character this past episode.
Mhm.
Now it's time we get to flip the script and get, the other one.
Absolutely. I think that now that Dexter has killed Gareth number one, I mean he's a smart guy. He's
Yeah.
gonna very likely think that this Gareth knows about what happened to his brother, because if there's two of them and Dexter didn't know, the brothers are obviously in it together. If he's just showing up being like, do, I gotta come in and deal with this. So it'll be interesting to see them at this more private retreat.
Yeah.
And especially if Gareth number two and Dexter both know what he's done to the brother, because then it is going to be sort of a who's going to be able to kill the other person at this retreat.
I also, why the retreat, Prater? Are you doing like team building trust exercises or something? Like, what's the point of all of this unless it is something? And this is where my suspicions go up a little bit about there's a lot more to Prater than what we know.
Yes.
That he is like, okay, I'm basically putting all of you into a killer panic room at this point because, Mia is fittingly gone. Who knows how much he's going to say about all of that? Tattoo collector gone, completely different reason. So maybe he is going to be like, I can't lose any more of my prized assets. It's sort of like that John Hamm show, Your Friends and Neighbors, where somehow John Hamm is able to break into all these people's houses with just a hat on and never gets caught. But anyway, he manages to like take all this stuff. And if I'm the rich people, I would eventually be like, I'm going to take my prized possessions and put them somewhere else so that John Hamm in his terrible disguise can't come in here and take them anymore.
Or he's just in like a headspace where he's like, you know what? We're going to have the games continue. And this is part of my 2-week tour with you guys. If Tattoo Collector didn't come back, oh well. I know what happened to Mio, so oh well. I'm going to take the people that I have left. You three, we're going to go to the next part of this whole thing. It's the killer retreat where he does whatever murdery things he's going to have there, where it's like, all right, I was okay with trophies, but now I want to watch you guys kill somebody, something along those lines.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, this guy is the big bad of this season for a reason. Like, we kind of got to see it.
Yeah.
But okay, as we move into the next part of this synopsis here, this is much more Harrison focused and it's pretty interesting. So, Harrison contemplates his future and his growing sense of justice driven by Elsa's struggles with her landlord. So, I guess we're going to see Steve Sharippa back to some degree here, but I think the big question mark is like, okay, what does this mean for a guy like Harrison in justice? Because I think his idea of it at this point in his life is pretty darn warped.
Yeah, and he's really struggling with a lot of justice because he knows how his father is getting justice.
Yeah.
He knows that himself, he's also been feeling these really dark impulses to get justice the same way he did with Ryan.
Mhm.
He's imagined it with this landlord, but stopped himself. And when I heard the word justice, I was like, okay, it feels like one of two things is happening here.
Yeah.
It's going to be justice like Dexter or like a Batman, where you're taking it upon yourself to get vengeance and get justice your own way, which could be murder. Obviously, we're on Dexter here. Or I was starting to think tinfoil hat that he might be looking at a career in law enforcement. And the few things that have come up that make me think possibly that this might be going in this direction. We saw him, he has said, I've gotten my GED. Then
Yes.
we've seen him looking at going to university. We saw it in the last episode. He's going up to like, oh, what's the New York City, university about? $52,000. I don't have that.
Yeah.
That doesn't include room and board. Oh my God. And he just threw it in the garbage. Was kind of like, okay, well then what else could be for me? And then in that last episode too, he was talking to his dad, and his dad was like, you know who you really remind me of in a lot of ways? Your Aunt Deb, where, she also was really hot-headed and like was trying to find ways to be able to put that in a pocket, and she joined law enforcement to be able to do some of that stuff. And I was kind of like, okay, so is that where we're going with Harrison there? You've got a whole family. Everybody was careers in law enforcement. He's had this connection now with Deb. He's had this thing with, I can't afford university. I totally
Yeah.
understand. Same here. I wasn't able to afford it, so I didn't get it.
Mhm.
But this is a way for him to be able to have a career, family career, get justice. I just don't know which way he's going to go, because there's the Dexter justice, and we've
Yeah.
seen him do that. And while he feels really guilty about it, he is capable of it. Or is he going to try this other way and then realize, like, you don't really get the justice you want? I mean, that's kind of why Harry taught Dexter the code in the first place.
I kind of feel like, and I'm going to side with the idea that he's going to join law enforcement for now. And I think there's a few different reasons. I mean, one of them you spelled out exactly, that the reminiscence of Deb, and it's an idea to sort of honor
Yeah.
Deb.
Yes.
It's also an idea, it's a way to honor Harry. It's a way to sort of bring back all of these people who were in law enforcement. And it's also a
And
way.
his dad. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not at Miami Metro at all anymore.
No, I think it's just a way to sort of tie in all of the origins of Dexter as a franchise. And I know maybe there's people out there that are like, okay, here we go again. It's the same old thing. But I don't think it is, because Harrison's not Dexter. He's obviously not these other people either. Like, this is someone who has killed before, but doesn't want to kill again, who's haunted by the deaths that he has caused at this point, or almost killing his father. So I think he's going to be going into it with this really different mindset, where for Dexter, it was always a cover. It was always a way that he could kind of get what he wanted to at the end of the day. But for Harrison, like, I think it's something he would be sort of serious about, and what would be exciting as all of us who want tension is, it's just, this is also a way to maybe keep characters like Claudette around the show, where it's like, oh, Claudette was doing all this digging into Harrison. What happens if Harrison gets into the police academy, and then she has to like work with him to some degree, where the case may be solved? I mean, who knows what's going to happen with all of this after what happened to Mia, but at the same time, she might still have like that lingering doubt in her head that she can't let go of.
Well, there's this other part of Dexter that, as good as the season is kind of missing a little bit. And the thing that I've really, it was missing from New Blood as well, which is Dexter being part of law enforcement. And I know that he's not doing blood spatter anymore and everything is different now, but having his son be in law enforcement could be really exciting, because it gives him more access to all these different tools to be able to cover some stuff up. And watching Harrison maybe try to have to balance doing the right thing and being able to get justice in his way, where, because killing is making him haunted, and he's not dealing with that very well. And then also trying to help cover up what your dad is doing, because while you don't love what your dad is doing, you kind of understand what he's doing. You don't want him to get caught either. It could be a really juicy storyline for both of these characters.
I think where all this could be going that's really interesting is we have sort of a turnabout cover up, where Harrison, if he ends up getting into law enforcement, is able to help protect his dad from then Batista, just like Dexter helped to protect him. Now, of course, the question there is, it's not like we have a ton of episodes left here. I don't think we're going to be fast forwarding here a year, or I don't know how long it takes in the police academy. I'm sorry, guys, but I just don't think we're going to have like Officer Harrison Morgan patrolling the streets in the finale. But we might see a little bit of his progress, of his getting there. And even in that amount of time, he might be able to mess with Claudette a little bit. He might be able to do something when it comes to Batista. Like, the possibilities are still there. And that's where we are entering Dexter Resurrection Season 1, Episode 7. What do you guys think is going to happen? Are we going to lose any more characters? Are you nervous or intrigued by whatever Prater has planned? Give us your thoughts, your theories, and of course, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more Dexter coverage. And also, support us further by joining our Patreon. That link is in the description, and we're covering Countdown over there. Thank you so much for your support, as always, and we will see you here next time.